Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Howie. Oh, we have another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. We got to start with the Boston Red Sox, the Old Town team. It's the All-Star break, pretty pathetic. And we'll start with Joe. Pretty pathetic, Joe, that we only had one guy, Kenley Jansen, on the team when you have to have at least one guy on the team.
Well, they had two outfielders that were worthy of inclusion in Massa and Verdugo, both in the top 10 in hitting. So they did have,
but they didn't have it. And Timmy,
but the voters aren't going for guys named Verdugo and Masayuki Hara. They don't even know them. They don't know. So while they could have been worthy, they weren't.
Timmy, I remember the Scott Cooper years. I think Scott Cooper was a representative back-to-back years, and he wasn't even. He was like a utility guy. He wasn't even any good.
Does Bloom just does he just misread this market? We like our stars. We like our Yazzes. We like our
Big Pappy.
We like Carlton Fisk. Noma. You know what I mean? Stars, a Red Sox star can own this town. We have none right now.
No, but look. The fact is that we're paying a guy $30 million a year to be a star. And Devers, despite his numbers, which obviously the voters believe they were phony, Joe, he's got to make the All-Star game every year. I mean, what are we paying him for?
$30 million a year he leads the league in RBIs, right?
Yeah, but
that's not much out of him. But he plays a lousy third base. And what's he hitting? About 235. And he doesn't. His on-base percentage is lousy. He never walks.
No,
he strikes out twice as often as he walks.
He has zero charisma too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he likes it that way. He doesn't want anything to do with you, me, or anyone else.
So he's been playing here for 5-6 years. Still doesn't speak a word of English. How's that possible?
Maybe he does and just doesn't want to get let on that he does.
Yeah, I'm not buying that anymore. The whole not speaking English after being here for a while stuff. Nobody in this day and age of communication, do we really want to sit there and watch an interview and wait for the interpreter to say something?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So Bloom, I don't know. How many years now have we just? I mean, we had the phony.
This is his fourth year.
We had the
that
phony
was his fourth draft
presentation. The phony appearance. Almost making it to the World Series, which was.
Come on, no, Timmy. You. How much fun did we personally have?
We did, Scotty, but you got to admit. But you got to admit that lineup, right? Kiki led us there. You know what I mean? That was a freak of Scotty. That was an aberration. But that was an aberration.
No, Schwarber was a great.
But it was not a. Yeah, I know, and it was not a sustainable team. You know what I mean? It wasn't a team built to last.
They finished in last place 2 of his 3 years, and this year they're again heading to last place. So I mean, you can't say that he's achieved anything. They did have a nice run, to Tim's point. They had a very nice run there, and then it ended quickly against Houston. But 3 out of the 4 years, last place, that's no good. And then he says, well, he's working on the farm system. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but not a single person has come out of that farm system from him, right?
And when he did have the team, he blew it up. He blew it up, right? We had something. We were excited to start the season with the next year, right? We were all pretty excited, Scotty, after that show they put on, right? And he fucking blew it up.
He totally did. Not re-signing Schwarber was a huge mistake.
Oh yeah, he could have been. Now he could have had him as a DH. Now he's got like 6 DHs on this team. Everyone's a DH on this team.
Yeah,
he thinks he can take shit and throw. Take a million guys. Lower middle class guys, throw the shit against the wall and something's going to stick. It doesn't. It's not working.
And no one can play their position except in the outfield, and even then, it's kind of chancy.
The Renfroe deal was a fireable offense. That was one of the worst deals in the history of the Boston Red Sox. To this day, I still cannot understand what he was doing. Again, they just finished the draft. Who knows? But he can say, look at the futures game. My last two the first round picks in 20 and 21 were in the future, starting in the futures game. That's what he's going to look at, and that would probably keeps his job.
Well, you're
Scotty,
there at AA. What's it? Isn't Mayer only hitting like 196?
Oh, no, he's not. I was talking to Chris Cameron, who runs the place over there, and I spent the night with him last week. And Mayer's the real. He's been there for 27 years. Mayer's the real thing. It's going to be
Scotty. Should we start going to Portland and Worcester for the games? Then we're paying big money to watch a top tier market team, most expensive to attend a game team in the league, and he's putting dog shit out there.
He is putting dog shit, and now, but look, they're 48 and 43, have won 8 out of 9 games going into the All-Star break. They're playing good baseball. Right now, they're playing good baseball. They're in the wild card mix. It's a matter of, do we trust Chaim Bloom? Because he's got to be a buyer at this point. Would you agree, Timmy, that Chaim has to be a buyer right now when you're one game out of the wild card?
Scotty, I don't want him to be a buyer because I don't think this team has a chance in a billion of winning the World Series. I want him to focus on next year and putting the best product from this point on the field next year. I don't want him giving up anyone good that might help this program the next 3 years. I don't want him giving them away at this point.
Yeah, I think it would be a marketing ploy if he can make that third wild card and make us pay for a full deck of games, and then lose in the first round, and then have already paid for 20-something games.
Oh,
that goes to next year. Sam Kennedy would kiss him.
Oh, we know. Joe, buyer or seller?
A little of both. But I'm like Tim. I'd like to see him look to the future. They don't have anyone's. They got a bunch of bums signed to 1-year deals. Let's have let's have some continuity here. Let's have someone who can play a position, please. Someone who can play any infield position or catcher. We need them, and we need starting pitching, obviously. But there's a whole lot of needs.
Yeah, there's no reason to keep Adam Duvall on the team. They have Duran in center field. They got Rafaela coming up.
Or Turner or Casas or all these.
Casas, they're going to keep Casas. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you're going to keep them. But these are all DHs.
Let
them learn to play a position. If you're gonna sign them, make them play a position.
Yeah. Timmy, who's on number one that you'd like to see go as a trade? Would it be Duvall, Paxton, Turner? And do the Red Sox?
Does Story have any value?
None. Zero. None. He's coming off a serious shoulder injury. He didn't play that well last year.
And he has a huge contract with guaranteed money.
No, he's all right.
This might be sacrilegious to say it, but our third baseman. Is he gonna gain 15 pounds a week, a year, every year going forward?
Yes.
At $30 million, you know what I mean?
Yes, there is. Yes. No, you're not.
Another 10 years on that contract, so that's why he'd be untouchable.
He never walks, like Joe said. He's swinging at anything right now. He's so undisciplined. My question to you guys is, when you give a guy an 11-year contract, is he coachable anymore?
Scotty, can I jump in for 1 second here? Is this like Pablo Sandoval all over again? Was he the wrong kind of guy to give that contract to? I mean, they missed the boat on Xander, who was the right kind of guy to give that contract to.
No, Xander's, that's even worse contract.
No, I know, but I mean, when he could have had him before, that market blew up crazy, when he was attainable, 2 years ago, when they could have extended him. They could have extended him for 5, 6, 7 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
At a reasonable amount before he let it get to the place that it got to. You know what I mean?
That's a great point. Yes.
He was a proven guy. He proved he could play in this market. He proved, he had, he took care of his body, took care of himself.
Yeah.
And then you got Pablo number 2 over there at third base right now.
It feels like
who you blow all this money on.
Well, let me go back to my question.
Is he coachable?
Is he
Yes, I
coachable
think he
at
is.
$300 million?
Yes, remember when Schwarber was here and he was batting behind Schwarber? All of a sudden, he started walking too and getting more selective.
Yeah, but Joe,
You got to have a decent example with them. Yeah, they got the craziest lineups out there, of all mismatched pieces. That roster's a disaster. I don't know how Cora puts it together.
I know Cora, with this 8.
He is a magician.
He's done a great job. That this team came out at the All-Star break at 48-43. I don't know how he did that.
But did you see their schedule going forward? They have 2 before the trade deadline. They have 2 long West Coast road trips.
Yeah,
but Joe, there are some horrible teams out there, though, right? I mean,
the first road trip is like 4 with Chicago, which is easy, and 3 with Oakland. Ice cream.
I mean, Oakland's like a single A team right now.
Then
right?
they come back here for the Braves and the Mets, which is kind of tough. The second West Coast trip is the San Francisco Giants and I think the Angels. So much tougher.
That's tough. Yeah, that's a tough one. Look, Heimblum right now, the pressure is on. Look, he was trying to buy and sell last year at the deadline, but there are guys that you can trade and try to get major league players back. Would you be more inclined to do that? Trade a
all right, Scotty, you tell me. Pick
a
couple of guys who aren't in our future, but could be valuable to another team.
Duvall's not in our future right now. I mean, they don't want to sit Duran down as well. They shouldn't. And they got this kid Rafaela if they needed to bring up from the minor leagues. So Duvall
was an injury, yes.
Duvall, the problem with Duvall is right now he needs to hit well in the next week so his value increases because he's shit the bed since he came back from the
injury. Yeah. He was great before the injury. Now he's been terrible.
Great. He was the star of the team before the injury, right?
Yep.
Turner, I would like to see Turner on this team next year.
I don't mind Turner as a DH and occasional first baseman.
And I think he's a settling influence on the team. So I'm not inclined to sell Turner. You're not going to, what are you going to get back for him? Some shitty minor leaguers. What do we need? We have plenty of those guys.
Yeah. A single A guy that will never make triple A.
Yeah. Everybody thinks that all these players are going to get back great returns. Even the best players, you're lucky if you get like the 16th best player.
99% of the prospects never make the major leagues. They just don't.
No. I'll repeat again. I know Timmy never believes this, but it's true. And I know you can't. 10% of the guys who play in AA make the major leagues. Only 10%. That means that the 9 guys who are on the field for Sea Dogs at times, none of them may ever make one day in the major leagues.
And a lot of that 10% are only up for the September call up, and that's it. They never sniff it again.
Yeah. So if you can give away, mid-level prospects here, take them all. You're happy to have them. So
all we want is the primos. The kid, that Roman Anthony that's went past Mayer. Mayer's dropping on the prospects.
Not one spot, Joe.
Yeah.
Mayer, I know Mayer's going to be a big star, Joe. Just deal with it. Nobody believes.
Is he?
Oh,
I want to see it. I want to see it.
Well, of course, we all want to see it, Joe. It's going to happen. I just believe it. Timmy Paxson probably gets you a quality minor leaguer or 2 if you trade him right now. But you really give up the season if you do that.
Yeah.
He's the right.
Not worth it, Scotty. How long do we just have him on a 1-year contract?
Yeah, 1 year left, but you could probably try to re-up.
Oh, isn't he? He's a free agent at the end of this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has 1 year left. 1 year.
So, I want a guy for Paxson who 2 years, I can pencil him to a starting infield position.
Well, that's yeah.
Yeah,
I know that's a
it's-
lot, but other than that, Scotty, what's it worth?
Yeah, but they
Right?
don't want to give you that for a rental.
I
They don't
know.
want to give you a sure major leaguer for a rental.
But if you're a team that really thinks you have a chance and you're a Paxton away, you get that spot in your pitching lineup that is missing a Paxton. Is it worth it? Like
They're
you
gonna go
said,
the Dodgers. They're gonna
Yeah,
Dodgers.
and a
We
guy
say
like
that all the
Paxton
time.
isn't going to be in the playoff rotation. He's a
No,
guy
what are you
you're only
talking
have.
about? What, Joe? He was the AL pitcher of the month last month.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He's been one of the best pitchers when he's pitched. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. How would he not be in the starting rotation of your playoffs? Who else you got better?
Oh, I don't know. There's some of the National League has got some pretty hefty
These guys,
lineups in.
a guy.
so he can go into just about
I know
any team in the
Kershaw
league.
loses the opening game every year, but he's still going to start.
Would you say Pax could go into any team, any good team in this league right now, be number 3 starter?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, number 3, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're a team that's looking like that one guy away, and you go like the Bruins did this year, even though they blew it, but
Yeah.
you need that 1 or 2 extra guys, right? That are going to get you over the hump. You'd think he'd be worth something pretty valuable. Like you said, these minor leaguers, it's hit or miss. But if you can get him, what would you say, a top 40 prospect, maybe something like that for him?
Well, you're not in the league. You're not going to get that, but you want to just get a fit of need and get some single A guys maybe that you're high on. But a guy with Paxton, you got to trade him soon because he's injury prone, and also these teams want to get some bang for their buck, and they want this guy pitching a lot of games.
I'm sure the Red Sox, Heim and his scouts have like 20 or 30 guys in other organizations that they wanted to draft over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
They liked that they wanted, and they probably still want them.
No, that's a great
So
point.
if you're Hein Bloom right now and you're shopping Paxton, what's the minimum return you're looking for, Scott?
Well, you're looking for 2 quality single A prospects. They're
Pitching,
probably,
fielding?
Pitching,
that-
I'd hope.
you're probably one pitching and one an outfielder probably, or
Top 50 on the list?
no, it's really going to be about top prospects in their organization.
No, but I
definitely wanna
mean,
try to get
in the prospect list,
Yeah,
Scott. You know how great
it's
these
tough.
guys are.
Nobody's going to give
The
you.
top 50 is guys that are only a year or 2 away.
Yeah,
A lot of times when you're picking prospects, they're 2-3 years away.
yeah.
To get a better prospect that might be in the top 50 a year or 2 from now, but you got to take guys that.
But aren't they
No,
ranked
you're right.
all the way
Yeah.
down? Don't they have the top 50 AAA, top 50 AA, top 50?
No, they usually have the
No,
top
no,
100 prospects
No.
in baseball. You're
From
not
that's-
gonna-
low A
that's
all
it.
the way up to AAA.
But I'm sure they have their own list on stuff like this.
Oh
right?
yeah, certainly.
Remember,
Yeah, so you identify a couple guys you've really had your eye on that you're never able to grab, right? And you dangle Paxton out there.
Timmy, just so you know, and the audience, look, nobody's giving away their top 5 prospects on their team.
No,
doing
I
that.
know that. Yeah,
So we're not giving away
No.
the Bears, the Yorks, and
Yeah.
stuff. So you're talking about usually if you're lucky to get like the teams of a team, right, Joe? The team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because those guys are so valuable because you have them under your control for 7 years. It's
Yeah.
they're so valuable because
money wise, yeah.
and just that you control them and they
Because
have no
then
leverage.
then it explodes to $40-50 million. Yeah. So
Yeah.
where is York right now, Scotty?
York is in
Double A,
Double A. They've
No,
all,
where's he? Where's he in the prospect?
What is he, 100?
oh yeah, York is a top 100 prospect now. He cracked it.
He's
again.
like 99 or 100, but
Yeah.
he wasn't in it last year.
no,
Or he was like 50.
yeah,
So he went way down, then he's coming back up.
yeah.
Now, how about so who are our top guys on that list right now?
Well, there's Mayer,
Anthony.
there's Rafaela, there's
Where's
Anthony.
Mayer? Where's Mayer right now?
10.
Mayer is the 9th best prospect in baseball,
Who else?
and Anthony somehow has become the 8th in what I just sent you. Anthony was their 2nd round pick last year.
Last year. That's how quick he's coming through.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, and he's a lefty hitter, outfielder, has opposite field power like you wouldn't believe. So again, some guys just
Yeah.
they're just it's time for the majors soon.
That's like the way Mookie was. Mookie just caught fire and just went steaming right through, went from single A right to center field in the Red Sox lineup and didn't miss a beat.
Ladies,
Xander had a similar ascension too, right?
yeah, he was a stud prospect like
Yeah.
Mayor.
But he was like 3 or 4 years like Mia.
Yeah.
Devers was up here at 19 too, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah.
A lot of times those Dominican guys, they've already been in minor league ball down there, basically, since the age of 13.
Yeah.
They play
They're
in
playing
a very
100 they're playing 200 games a year when they're 14 years old.
yes.
Oh, I could talk
or
minor league.
more, Tim.
Yeah. And the kid they drafted, the catcher out of New Jersey, Keel, that it looks like the real thing, real deal. So finally they addressed the catching position. They've been ignoring it for like a decade. The last number 1 pick for the Red Sox was a catcher. Let's see if either of you know.
Jason Varitek?
Yeah.
No, Varitek was a trade. Heathcliff Slocum for
What
Derek
a
Rose and
steal.
Jason Varitek. One of the most outrageous deals in the history of baseball.
Yeah.
Heathcliff
That was.
Slocum, that was like a last second trading deadline deal. Heathcliff Slocum was a terrible closer for us, had like a 5.5 earned run average. Our team was going nowhere, and the Mariners wanted him, so they gave us away Varitek, borderline Hall of Fame players.
I got a question. You see how these names roll off our tongues? Even Heathcliff Slocum, who was only, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We recognize the name. Are the kids these days going to recognize these players on the Red Sox like we recognize these guys from 10, 15, 20 years ago?
No, not at all. Because, Tim, even if you go back to my childhood before you knew every player on every team in the American and National League. Baseball was that big. You knew every player on every team. You didn't know anything about the minor leagues, but you knew every player on every major league team.
Yeah. The NHL was similar too. I don't want to go off subject too much.
Oh, the NHL was so easy because it was only.
You knew everybody. You knew everybody on every team.
Even all the guys that never played, you knew that.
Yeah. We got because you got the Sporting News once a week, and you read that from cover to cover because there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Sports Illustrated showing up in the mail on Thursdays was like the highlight of the week,
Yeah, right.
I like the Sport News though.
The Sport
we got Sports Illustrated in sport, but the Sport News was the best because that had all the down and dirty
everything.
box score.
I remember that's how I learned about Jeff Bagwell, and I started following him early, and Boggs too. And when I was so sad when they traded Bagwell away because he was going to be my guy at third base, and he was a local kid. So yeah, there was those kind of things that you did follow. So yeah, no, to answer your question, Timmy, no, they're not going to be talking like this about the Heathcliff Slocums of the world. All right, so what's our priority? We'll start with Joe. What's the priority, Joe? What position do you want first for the Red Sox to fill?
Oh, I'm like I said, I'm with Tim. I want them to look to the future, and what they need the most, obviously, is starting pitching that isn't on the injured list all the time, like Sale and Whitlock and them.
Tough to. I mean, you're going to have to get that through a trade or a free agent signing in the off season.
A free agent signing is one thing, and hey, if you have to take single A guys who you think have a lot of upside, you take them. Especially Timmy, a lefty. I'd love to see him get a lefty too.
Timmy, what do you want out of this trading deadline?
What do I want? I want exactly what Joe just said. I want them to focus on building a starting rotation for this team that we can be proud of. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, we got Bello.
5.
We have Bello.
That's a great start.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get a legitimate,
not Whitlock.
Turn the TV on. This guy's pitching tonight kind of guys, which is how. So I guess keep shooting for minor leaguers that might show that they could be that person someday.
Look, if I think Kenley Jansen can get you a couple prospects, I'd spin him right away.
In a heartbeat. I don't need them to try for the World Series this year because it's a fool's errand.
No, but you could put Whitlock in that. He's a closer. Whitlock should be a closer.
He should be in the bullpen. He does not have the arm to be a starter.
No.
I know he wants to be one, but he can't be one. He doesn't have the stamina or his body is just not strong enough. It doesn't hold up.
So the question then is, who's pushing that agenda? Because it's not Whitlock. He's got no cachet to do that. Is it Cora or Heim? Who wants him to be a starter so bad that we keep on doing this?
I think that Heim is the one who keeps saying that because he hasn't provided any starters for Cora. So he says, well, use Whitlock.
He's so desperate. He's so desperate to legitimize his
Rule 5 pickup there.
Yeah.
Look, Whitlock, just ridiculous. Why would you put him in the best position to succeed and they won't do it?
Yeah.
It's almost like a political decision.
Yeah.
You know?
He's done well as a piggyback guy, especially early in the season when guys are only going 3 or 4 innings. He comes in and gives you 2 or 3 innings. And then you're into the back of your bullpen where you want to be.
But no, I think he's a closer. Can give you 2 innings as a closer if all of a sudden the bullpen is tapped out. And Tanner Houck, is he a starter or is he a reliever?
He's a starter.
I think so too. Yeah. So there you
He's
go.
Been going 6-7 innings pretty reliably this year.
Yeah. So Timmy, there you go.
Not maybe starter guys. Legit.
Yeah. I think Bayo and Tanner
and start. You know what I mean?
No, Houck is developing the star.
Yeah. He's not an ace, but he's developed into a reliable starter.
Yeah.
Crawford. So you got two of the 5 because you'll never be able to count on Sale.
No. Crawford.
I want Pedro. I want Pedro starting. I want Schilling starting. I want. I know, Scotty. Well, that's
Lester
what
backing him up.
We're the Red Sox. We're the freaking Red Sox. Come on, go get them. Go do it.
Well, they do need to sign a stud free agent this time, pitcher. Whether it's the Japanese kid, fine.
That's the way to go. It doesn't cost you any players. All it costs you is money, and the posting fee doesn't go against your salary cap or anything. Go for it.
Yeah.
Are we talking about Ohtani? Are we talking about Ohtani?
No, there's I forget his name. It starts with an M, right?
Yeah.
And
he's the best pitcher over there, Tim.
Yeah. And he's coming over.
He's like 29. He's not past his prime.
And we've done well with, wouldn't you say overall we've done well with Asian players coming over?
Yeah.
Red Sox? Yeah.
The gyro ball.
The expectations were too high for Daisuke. Actually, he delivered almost exactly what they paid him for.
Yeah. Yeah, he helped them win and I tell you, the kid I really loved too was Okajima.
He was the best they ever had.
The best closer I ever.
No, that's Koji Yohara.
Koji.
Okay.
No, of course, Koji was the best.
When Koji, do you remember he would get up there? It would be 9 pitches, 3 outs. He was the best.
He didn't need a pitch clock either.
Papelbon would come in and walk one, and make you get a little nervous up there. And Koji would come in, boom, boom, boom. Thank you very much. Good night.
The greatest closer of all in the history of the Red Sox.
Oh, easily.
I would say for me.
I mean, Timmy, you made a great point. There was never a nervous moment. He hardly got to a 3-ball count.
No.
And the guy's throwing 84 miles an hour, and they act like it's 106.
It would get to the plate and just drop right before it got to the plate. It was unbelievable.
And they also defeated by the middle of the season. These guys were hardly even wanting to get up against them. I'm like, what is he
They
doing?
all had all that film on them. They knew exactly what was coming, and they couldn't hit it.
You know, it was almost like he made a deal with the devil and said, God, for 1 year, or Mr. Devil, for 1 year, let me have this one pitch that no one on the planet can hit, and I'm just going to throw it over and over and over.
So you had
You know?
Koji, then Okajima, I love too.
Yeah.
Matsasaka,
Yeah.
obviously Yoshida's been fantastic. We've actually done our record's been pretty strong.
I like our
and
Asian
also
players.
Tazawa, who I like a lot, who they burnt out.
Who was the one that pitched the no-hitter?
That was Nomo, but yeah, I was there. I was in Baltimore when he pitched it. But yeah, he was here for I think 1 season or 2 seasons.
Yeah.
He pitched well, but obviously he made.
Was he in that Seattle trade?
No, Nomo was just a free agent. Remember, Nomo was famous for being a pitcher in Los Angeles.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And I just want to mention Koji. We got him from what, Baltimore or something, as a free agent or something.
Yeah.
He had pitched. He didn't come from Japan to us, but Okajima did. Remember Okajima, the lefty?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not going to get Ohtani. It's not happening.
How much would you pay him?
How much would I pay him? I think, to be honest with you, I think pay him $50 million for 10 years. So $500 million.
Let the Yankees or the Dodgers pay it, but drive, just like with Judge, drive the price up. Make them pay top dollar. Put in a solid bid like $45 million that makes the Yankees or the Dodgers go 50.
Remember, you're getting a pitcher and a hitter.
How long is he going to be able to do both, though, Tim?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a wear on that. He's a big guy. He's going to wear out.
Yeah, he is. He is a big guy.
How old is he?
What is he? 29?
Yeah, he's right there. He's right where your body might start to break down, especially with playing every day and the strain you put on it pitching too.
Yeah. But also the Japanese, remember in those leagues, those guys threw a lot of pitches in high school, and that was the thing.
Oh yeah, they'll throw an 18-inning game. They come in there, no relief pitches.
Yeah, no, those guys, they're pretty remarkable. Look, but Ohtani financially, he'll pay off whatever contract in the first 3 years, just on the stuff on the side.
If he goes to the Yankees, they'll make a fortune on him because they'll sell out that big giant stadium and get 65,000 people in the seats for the first, at least, like Scotty says, 3 years. That will pay for the whole 10-year contract.
Oh my God! And just the extra subscriptions to the Yes Network and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's the kind of thing.
Ads. So they add $20,000 to every ad the whole season.
Yeah,
it means millions. 100 million right there. So they'll cover.
Sorry. Why can't the Red Sox? It's almost like Bloom's been saving his pennies to sign him.
Well, there's still only like $5 million underneath the salary cap luxury tax threshold.
Yeah, but they get a lot of room after this year.
Yes, but right now, coming up to the deadline, they don't have a lot of wiggle room. They'd have to sell and buy if they wanted to add someone big.
It's kind of amazing that we're that high in salary when all these freaking
has-beens and never were,
Yeah.
You're not going to trade for Ohtani unless you have him ink a deal before.
Right. You're not getting him as a rental.
No, you're not doing that.
Do you think the Angels are going to trade him?
I think that they're going to have talks with him. And if he says, I'm going to free agency no matter what, then why not? Of course you trade him, because then you can bid for him after that.
I'm sure they've already talked with every team in both leagues about it.
Yankees going to give you a boatload of prospects, and Ohtani's not signing with the Angels. Then you have to trade him. Why not?
Yeah.
The Angels aren't going anywhere. Maybe the prospects they give you.
The Angels are up to their neck in salary right now, right?
No.
Well, they got Trout and him. If the two of them together, are practically a whole team in salary.
That's probably Tampa's whole salary right there.
Oh, double Tampa's whole salary.
Pretty pathetic
two of
though
them.
that you have the two best players in baseball and you can't even sniff the playoffs.
Yeah. Aren't they doing better this year?
Yeah, they are doing better, but still, if that was the Red Sox, when we had Manny and Big Papi, we sniffed the playoffs.
Yeah.
We won.
Snorting it.
We won we won what, 3 World Series?
Yeah.
With them. So I mean,
and they never gave Pappy a lot of money either.
No, they made him go year to year.
They made him fucking earn it every year. They made him grovel
15
grovel
each time.
every year. They made him grovel.
But they made up for it. They have given that guy more attention and more money and more hookups.
Well, he sells more tickets and more merchandise every time he walks into that building than anyone else. That's why
I saw he just put his house in Miami on the market. What a palace! Oh my God!
Didn't he just get divorced? So maybe that's part of that.
Yeah.
He's my favorite Red Sox of all time. Is he, Timmy? Your favorite?
Oh, he's everyone's.
It's like when you're 10 years old. Yaz always had. And George Scott, I loved my George Scott. I loved him. So kind of an odd guy to love, but Yaz just had this. Yaz was like ore to me. You know what I mean?
So Yaz is your favorite?
I was 9 years. I was 8 years old. When Yaz really, won the Triple Crown, and that's that kind of person that makes their way into your heart, into the middle of your heart, and they never leave.
All right, so Yaz is yours, Joe.
Boy, my first favorites were that fabulous double play combination of Steady Eddie Brissou and Chuck Schilling.
Oh,
right. I loved those two. But Ed's Papi. Papi, who else would it be?
Yeah, well, my favorite hitter to watch was without a doubt Manny Ramirez.
Oh,
just watching him at the plate,
sucker
dissect and get into a pitcher's head. And I never saw a batter who could set pitchers up. Pedro used to set batters up. Manny used to set pitchers up.
He used to set up base runners too. Remember him loafing after the ball? Said he would turn and fire a strike. When the guy tried to stretch it, he'd turn and fire a strike to second and get him out.
I just remembered, you click into the TV and Manny was up. You stopped every time to watch.
Oh my God! Yeah, we had Manny and Papi for all those years.
3 and 4. Oh, jeez.
And big personalities. Oh my God, huge personalities. Yeah, we've been blessed in this town. Well, it's gonna be an interesting second half of the season.
Well, Scotty, who's yours? Who's your favorite?
Oh, it's Big Papi. It's always Big Papi's a superhero to me. I think he's if you think about it, it's 2004 and we're still talking about him to the present. He's the most important Red Sox in the history of this franchise.
Well, it's the greatest moment, that grand slam with the right field
against Detroit. Certainly
his feet are up in the air. And the
Torrey Hunter
doing this.
That's the greatest sports moment that I've ever had live. Yes. Yeah. Would you? I think
I'm right there with this guy. We were right next to each other.
I think Malcolm Butler, the Malcolm Butler play is the most exciting sports play that I've ever seen in my sports life. I was obviously on TV, but so I would say, of course, and we're with you guys. But Big Papi's homer and Butler, as far as that goes. Joe, what would you say? Most exciting
to add in for this year was Derek White's tip-in was a great moment.
Yeah, right.
But I'm with you. I love that Torrey Hunter going upside down and the cop jumping up.
White's tip-in, I wasn't really sure what happened. The way the angle of the camera was on it, I didn't even really see him put the shot up, to be truthful with you. Yeah. And I was confused. Like for a moment, just like Butler's interception.
Yeah.
I didn't realize right away that he had made the interception. Everything happened so quick. I was kind of like waiting. What just happened? Type of thing,
But I also got to say, Super Bowl.
There was a great call. That was a great call by the announcer on that.
I was that way. Another one. I was at the Super Bowl in New Orleans when Vinatieri hit the kick for the first Super Bowl too. So that was pretty good too.
But Butler won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That we would have
Vinatieri won it too. Vinatieri won it too with the kick.
Yeah, but we would have gone to overtime.
Yeah,
he missed
yeah,
that.
but Butler
Yeah.
pulled victory out of the jaws of
But
defeat.
Vinatieri's kick in the Super Bowl, though, Boston had not won anything in forever. Like
15 years.
we were not allowed to win. I was searching the field for a flag because
Since the Bird
I said
Celtics.
we don't win. You know, there's a roughing the passer. There's too many men on the ice. There's something like we don't win. We were cursed, and then it sunk in that we had won the Super Bowl. So that's right up there for me too.
Yeah, great moments. All right, boys, let's go to the New England Patriots. Training camp starts, what, in a week, Joe?
Week and a half. We'll get there.
Okay, Joe, what is the number one story of camp?
Oh, the offense. The defense was fairly reliable last year. I think how the offense improves is going to be the number one story.
Yeah,
If it does improve.
yeah.
And there's 100 stories inside that. The offensive line, obviously, they built an offensive line for 2 years from now. They got all these new guys, and this year they'll be getting to know each other. But and hopefully you have a solid all-pro line a year or two from now.
Is it Timmy? Is it the most important story about a guy who doesn't play in Bill O'Brien?
Yes, absolutely, Scott. I was listening to the radio today, a couple of sports channels, and they couldn't have been throwing Matt Patricia under the bus any more than they were throwing him under the bus.
Yeah.
You know how dysfunctional and fucked up this team's offense was last year. When you went through the stats, the numbers, the utter failure of the offense in the red zone last year.
Yeah, but that's on Bill
O'Brien.
Belichick.
Well,
It's not on
you know,
Matt
I blame Bill Belichick for picking Matt Patricia, right?
Yeah, of course.
An owner, a manager, you're as good as the people that you hire, right? That's your job, is to hire good people around you. And he was a moron. Now, Joe, you said that Patricia was a Kraft favorite, and the Kraft maybe had a big part of Patricia.
Well,
being
that
there.
and Bob Kraft's got to like the fact that he didn't have to pay him because.
Yeah.
When you have billions of dollars,
Joe Judge was the same way. The Giants were still paying him. He couldn't get him on the staff fast enough.
That the value of that franchise goes up more in the time it just took me to finish that last sentence than I'll make in 20 years. Right. You know what I mean? And they're concerned about not paying an offensive coordinator to run their franchise.
And yet they've been, as far as paying out, in the bottom third of the league for the last 20 years. Bottom third.
No, but Timmy, Joe has a point in the sense that they gave this guy a particular title, so they didn't have to pay him. So they were thinking about the savings. I mean, it's transparent.
They gave him the keys to the offense for this incredibly just billion-dollar franchise, and they gave that fucking idiot the keys to the car. Yeah. And so I blame whoever gave him that position. That's who I blame. But O'Brien is a ray of hope, that's for sure. This guy's a legitimate NFL offensive.
Well, he's been a head coach at the college and at the he was successful at the college ranks. He was unsuccessful in the professional ranks.
Look,
so remains
Patricia, when we last saw him, we had the worst defensive game plan in the history of the Super Bowl. Got absolutely fucking torched by a backup quarterback. He goes to Detroit. Couldn't be. I mean, the Ford family doesn't fire anyone, and they had to fire him. There was a mutiny on the fucking team. They all fucking hate him. He comes to the Patriots, and then you're like Timmy said, they hand him the keys to the car. But my point also is, why not halfway through the season, they not remove him of those duties?
You never see that happen in football. Coaches get removed during the season. It's very, very rare.
But Joe, seriously,
it's every once in a while, like the Jets did it last year, wasn't it? That they fired the offensive coordinator halfway through the season.
I might have to take back some of my hatred for Mac Jones right now, because if Patricia was the complete asshole moron that he's being made out to be these days by people, the stories are starting to come out now from under the carpet. maybe Mac had a justifiable reason to be the prick that he appeared to be out there.
Well, the wrong guy's in charge of him now, and Bill O'Brien, because he was the one who ratted him out when Mac went crying to Saban. What a moron. Saban used to work for Belichick. Bill O'Brien used to work for Belichick, and he tries to go behind their back and whine. They couldn't rat him out fast enough.
Mac Jones is going to have to play, and just shut his fucking mouth, play for his coach, and be employee number whatever is 10. What's his number? Yeah. And Tom Brady always understood he was employee number 12. He, and don't be calling Bill Belichick Bill. He's Coach Belichick. And I don't want any more critiques of how Coach O'Brien did today.
Yeah. You're not his boss.
Yeah.
My God.
I can't hear that if you hear that, if he answers one of those fucking questions and starts telling us how he thinks Bill did today, oh my God, send him the fuck out and put fucking Zappy in. I can't deal with that shit. He keeps on doing it.
We should practice our Zappy chants, Tim.
He's just hitting puberty and he's critiquing Bill Belichick.
Yeah. I mean,
Bill O'Brien and everybody else. He's
their
boss.
Timmy, you rag on Duran. Fucking Mac Jones last season did 5,000 million things worse.
I know. I hate him. You've heard my disdain for the guy. You know what I mean? But I wonder how much, was Matt Patricia just such a psychopath moron? We've all worked for guys like that.
He was the wrong guy in the wrong place in the wrong job.
Every day you get out of work, you want to kill yourself, and you say, "Is this going to be my life going forward? Working with this idiot?" So we might give him a little, just maybe a tiny hall pass.
Yeah.
If he had to deal with Matt Patricia. Now he's got a real big boy offensive coordinator. That shit's got to end.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Got two pet tight ends to throw to now.
Bill
O'Brien, if nothing else, knows how to work a double tight end offense.
Yeah, take the coaching and let go out and do your fucking job.
Would you agree Mac Jones has zero slack? Zero slack. He's used up all his goodwill that he.
Well, with us, but with Bob Kraft, who drafted him, he's the number one son, and Bob doesn't want to admit his mistake. And he's gonna fit the square peg in the round hole no matter what. And that's Belichick's job. Make sure that Mac looks good.
Well,
if he doesn't look good, he at least looks okay.
But Joe Belichick has moved on from people a lot bigger than Mac
but
Jones.
Bob Kraft hasn't.
Who goes first in Kraft's mind? Bill B, Bill O, or Mac J?
Well, if Kraft has half a brain cell left in that head, it's gotta be Mac Jones.
No, he made that draft pick, and he's gonna go to his grave.
He's an idiot if he does that.
So then
he's the owner though, so he gets to call the shot.
So Joe, you say he will fire Bill Belichick as opposed to having Mac Jones traded?
He might come to the conclusion if, like Cora has showcased his terrible bullpen and embarrassed time, he might be able to showcase Mac and embarrass Robert to admit his mistake. But I don't think it's not in his best interest to do so. It's in his best interest to win games.
Now, didn't Kraft learn a long time ago when he fucked around with Bill Parcells? You pick your
Terry
coach,
Glenn,
and you they're the football people. Kraft is the money guy. You pick your football expert and you hand him the keys.
He wanted, like all of us though. He's a fan. All of us wanted the quarterback that year, even though.
I would have picked Mac Jones too. I would have picked Mac Jones. Belichick had a gun to his head. You either pick Mac Jones or you go.
Once Parsons came off the board, and he didn't try to trade up for Parsons because that was his guy. After that, then
they had to take him.
Had to take him. Yeah, you couldn't do that because remember, he should have taken Lamar Jackson a few years earlier.
Which would have been the better play, yes.
If Matt can grow a set of balls, he might be okay, but he's got to grow a set of balls and he's got to keep his mouth shut.
and not try to tackle Chandler Jones. Absolutely look like a peewee player out there.
Well, we're gonna know early. We're gonna know early, but
don't throw the football the minute someone's within 5 feet of you.
Yeah.
You know,
we'll know by game 3 what the deal is. We'll
They play some good teams this year, and what they really play is the defense is going to have their hands full. They play all the best quarterbacks this year. If you were to pick the best 5 quarterbacks, they play all of them, and some of them twice. They play Allen twice, they play Rodgers twice, they play Mahomes, they play Herbert. You name it, all the guys. The Prescott,
Joe,
kid from Philly, Hurts.
The Patriots for 50 plus years, and in my experience of watching them, it's never mattered who the Patriots played. Never mattered.
Yeah.
When they shit the bed, they can lose the worst team in football. If they play well, the Patriots will beat any team. They always have been like that. And so I'm
not afraid.
That's their kind of game plan. That's their game plan. If they play it, keep close.
I'm not afraid of Rodgers anymore.
Rodgers
You
is
see the contract that Quinn Williams signed today?
Yeah, like
96 million.
66 guaranteed. Yeah.
23 million a year they're paying for a defensive tackle.
66 guaranteed.
Yeah. $96 million.
I mean, these contracts
For
only
4
count
years.
for the guarantee. The rest, other than the guarantee, the rest of it, you might as well just
Doesn't
put a
matter.
line.
I know they're not paying. If they were paying Rodgers this year, they'd really be up Schitt's Creek.
What is Rodgers getting paid this? What's Rodgers getting paid?
I think Green Bay is picking up the salary.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No way. He got traded. No way. They're not picking up any salary.
Yeah, no way would they give him away and pick his salary up.
Well,
the whole reason
that
of it was to get rid of the money, right?
Yeah, they're not doing that because won the MVP 2 years ago. But then
so what's he on the books for?
He makes like
40, 50?
He was due to get 50 million this year.
Yeah, I'm sure
but
the
he's
Jets
not
are giving
getting
it to
it.
him.
Now he's getting like 3 million. I don't know how it worked.
What, the Jets aren't giving him 50 million?
No.
I can't imagine him stepping on the field for one game for $3 million.
No, he's not getting. Where'd you get that from?
But they're deferring it to next year. He signed an extension with the Jets.
All right, Joe, but he's getting
He's
50 million. I guarantee you, it's guaranteed this year. If he goes out there and plays, he's getting $50 million.
Yeah, Joe, he's making the big bucks. Come on. I'm looking
There's
at
no way Aaron Rodgers
he became the first $50 million per year player in March 2022.
Yeah.
He signed a contract for $150 million over 3 years. So he's getting paid $50 million, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think that's changed. He signed a different extension with the.
Joe, he might have restructured it or whatever.
Yes, he did.
No, Joe, his
he's
compensation for this year is $60 million.
There you go.
Yeah.
60.
Aaron Rodgers, he's not stepping on the field for anything under $50 million. You know that piece of shit.
Yeah.
He wouldn't go out there for nothing.
For the amount of games he's played, he's dead last in the history of the NFL in comebacks. Dead last.
Okay, so the Jets will also acquire Rodgers' contract, Joe, which includes nearly $60 million in salaries and bonuses this season.
Yeah.
But I think they worked something out that he's not getting that.
No,
Joe, no, he's getting it, Joe. They might have restructured.
Well, he'll get it one way or the other. I agree with you.
They're able to do it in a way that he's getting the money. Okay,
but the salary cap is.
But their cap is 15.8 for this year and 32.5 next year.
Yeah,
they want to restructure it for that, but he's getting it.
He's gonna get it.
He's getting it. Yeah,
he's not going for nothing.
No. He's all about the dough.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go Celtics. It's Jordan Walsh's world. We're just
I love this kid.
Yeah.
Love him.
A lot of confidence for a second round pick, huh?
Yeah, he's got size. I saw
bigger than Grant.
I saw a stat that Grant Williams was in the 1 percentile defensively last year. Worst,
Really?
the worst. Like one of the worst.
He's a matchup problem because he couldn't guard the big guys. He was only 6'5.5".
Yeah,
they listed him as 6'6", and he was too like low, his body was funny. He couldn't, the fast guys just ran around him, it was hard for him to defend anyone. He was best at leaning on guys like Giannis and Embiid and just making a pest of himself.
So think
Bodying
about
up.
it. He came out of that last year. His market value was high. Like you said, Joe played very well against the Giannis's of the world during the playoffs. They offered him 12, 13 million. He plays the season and he ends up getting 12 or 13 million. So his value never increased. Feels
because
like
he never had any offense whatsoever. Yes, he can hit a corner three when he's wide open, but so can everyone else in the NBA.
Yeah. The Walsh kid, are we reading into this anymore? But he looks like physically he has some attributes. He's long. He's fat. He looks like he has a soft touch.
Yeah.
That's the knock on him, though. Is his shooting. That's the knock on him.
Yeah.
But he looks
I
like
think
looks
4
pretty
years
good, I
from
know.
now, he'll be better than Grant was after his first 4 years. And I always said Grant will have a 10-year NBA career, and he will.
I think he's got a much higher motor. He's got like a Marcus Smart motor.
He's got a higher ceiling than Grant ever did.
well, he's big. He's big and he's long and he can move.
He's quick.
He
Moves, yeah.
Now he's got to learn to play the NBA game. I mean, he's still a youngster.
So, at the very least, and I know you've been wanting this for a while, Timmy. Can he turn into a Tony Allen?
Well, I think he's got more skills. Tony Allen was like pure defense. That was it.
Well,
I
again,
have high hopes
let's
for
pump the brakes.
Scotty.
Talking about a second round pick.
No. I've watched a good amount of this kid. I have high hopes for him. I do. I think he might struggle offensively. I mean, they only show his highlights of him making shots. I don't know how many they don't show of him missing shots. You know what I mean? It looks like he looked like when they show the shots he's making, he looks like a shooter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does.
But they're only
He had
showing the shots
25
he
points last night.
yeah, I mean, my God, if he can develop a shot, I mean, it looks like his form is pretty good. It's not like he's, got this crazy form or something. His form looks pretty good. What I love about him is his high motor, his length of his arms, and he seems like he's got a good head for defensively too. He knows where to be, and I don't know. I'm pretty excied about him.
I'd love it if we could pick up a second-round pick and he could be Tony Allen. That'd be great.
Would Brad have drafted Walsh at 25?
No. Well, he kept going back, didn't he? He kept trading back.
I wonder.
He probably knew he was still going to be available.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's asked that question. I mean, I don't know if he would have disclosed.
That's a very good question, Scott. Very good question.
What did he trade back like 3 or 4 times, right?
Walsh is what, 38th?
Yes.
So
you wonder if they had their eye on him right off the bat. I mean, they kind of knew what they wanted. They wanted a very defensive-minded guy. I think.
Yeah, someone to replace Grant Williams
and Marcus Smart.
Well, no, because
no, but I mean, from that defensive mentality. I mean,
a
defense first kind of guy.
I don't think they want Timmy anyone on the court who can't play defense.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I think they really wanted. You know how Smart kind of really wore that defensive player of the year thing on his back. You know what I mean? He loved being known for his defense, and I think they kind of were looking for a guy with that mindset.
I agree with you.
Well, I think every rookie, that's what they're encouraged to do. Learn the defense, play defense till you can't do anything else.
Joe,
I think this will come in time.
Joe, I think there's a boatload of guys out there who are just so offensive oriented because that gets you on ESPN. That gets you your name in the paper. Defense rarely gets you.
And you get the big bucks.
You get the big bucks, So to get a guy who thinks defense first, I think that was an attribute they were looking for in him.
All right. Oh my God. They tried out John Wall, Celtics in a number of teams. I would love Wall coming off the bench.
If he got tried out by that many teams and no one took him, that must mean he doesn't have it.
How old is he now?
He's not that old, I don't
Oh,
think.
where is he? 33, 34?
Yeah.
Jeez,
He's
that's
just
not
had
old
too
at
many
all.
injuries and he's lost too much.
I know you're not going
Guy's
to
a
pay
real-
him much. You'd probably be paying him the minimum. I would take a flyer and
Oh, but he probably won't take the minimum. That's the problem.
oh, that's ridiculous. What does he think? Someone's going to be giving him big bucks?
Right. Well, he doesn't need to because what was he making? 45, 50 million a
Probably
year.
made 300 plus million in his career.
Yeah. So he doesn't have to play for the minimum. If they're not going to give him something that he thinks is commensurate, he's not going to play.
Well, they're not going to do that. Nobody's gonna.
Right. That's why
Yeah,
no one's signing him.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
having
right.
I'm having a senior moment right now. Who's the guy who used to jump over the cars that we had on the team this year?
Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Is he back next year?
No.
That's a great. Doesn't look like he is, right? They probably would have
Yeah.
already done
They
something.
would have re-signed him if they had his
They're
contract.
saying he was the greatest locker room presence. Like
He
what a
seemed to
pickup.
be on the bench, didn't he?
No, I
Yeah,
liked him a lot. I would like for them to keep him. I guess at minimum, why not, right?
keep him on.
Just
Keep him
for
on the bench,
comedy
right?
relief. He was a
Yeah.
funny guy.
I thought he did some good stuff. I don't know why Missoula didn't play him a little more, play him at all in the playoffs. I thought he could have been a nice change of pace at times.
Well, if you notice, the guys that weren't Missoula's favorites have all are disappearing quickly.
oh my God!
Well,
All right,
Grant
so John
Williams,
Wall
I
has
couldn't-
made
I-
$232 million.
Well, I would have paid for Grant Williams' ticket out of town, watching him chirp at the refs all year, man. I was,
And
If you
and he
went to the
didn't
game
like
live-
Marcus either.
and you watch during the TV timeouts and everything. The fucking guy just never stopped. I mean, I'm like, I was waiting for a ref to just wind up and sucker punch him. You know, like get away from me. You know.
I'm not going to miss Grant Williams
Well-
at all. I mean, there's nothing in his game that I appreciated. And you're right, he fucking talked constantly.
Oh,
All
you're doing
when
is
he's
pissing the
supposed to be
refs off.
playing defense, he'd be walking up the court with the ref,
Oh.
talking the whole way up.
I know he's just a
My
fucking pain in the
God.
ass.
You know what got him that one big game he had in the playoffs? All of a sudden, he thought he was like,
And that
the
was
guy.
only because the other team absolutely refused to guard him. Absolutely refused to guard him.
Yeah.
That was like the turning point right there. All of a sudden, he thought he was somebody. You know.
He was shooting free throws and he thought he was good.
Oh, when he told Donovan Mitchell, "I'm going to make both of them." He
Oh,
fucking-
Oh, and he
oh,
crapped the bed and missed them both.
oh my God, he should have never played a game again for the Celtics. What a fucking embarrassment! It's a Boston
All he
Celtics.
had to hit was one. All he had to hit was one.
Shut the
he
fuck
did have,
up.
you know, 2 years ago, he did have a pretty good playoff series, though. He did have a pretty good, I mean, he put a body on Giannis. He slowed Giannis down a little bit, you know. I
Well, he
mean,
tired Giannis out. By the fourth quarter, Giannis was tired and he couldn't take over the game like you normally would. Same thing with
Grant-
Embiid. Embiid, when he was leaning on Embiid all game, Embiid would be a disaster in the fourth quarter.
yeah, I mean, you know, he was a pretty thickly built guy, and he could, you know, lay on
Just
those
lean
guys.
on you. You know, if you guy was checking you all game long at that
Oh, yeah.
250 pounds leaning on you, you'd be tired.
Those
Just for
body
that.
punches add up, you know. I used to
Yeah.
hate those forwards who would finish, you know, they dump the puck in the zone, you go in the corner and fetch it and make a pass, and that guy would finish the check on you every
Yeah.
time, you know.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, buddy. You know, I gave the puck away 3 seconds ago. You know, those, you know, you're getting it. That's what Lucic used to do too.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting it. You know.
Well, it shows
Speaking
you
of,
how Brad.
we'll get to the Bruins eventually today, but
It shows you how Brad knows the market. I mean, he called that market for Grant Williams a year ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was right on. I
And
mean,
Grant laughed in his face.
we're in
what a
good
difference!
hands with
What a
Brad.
difference in general managers, Bloom and Brad. I mean, could there
Oh,
be a
God.
bigger opposite of brains on the fucking planet? You know.
Well, I think Brad knows his sport inside out, knows the league inside out after being a coach for like 6-7 years, knows everyone in the league inside out. So when he moves to general manager, he's the best talent evaluator in upper management in the league.
We were all wrong. When Stevens was brought up, sent upstairs, we thought this is going to be temporary. Wick doesn't just want to pay him for doing nothing. He's going to be a head coach at Indiana University in a couple of weeks. And looks like he just loves the position. I think it has a lot to do that his family and him love the area.
He took
Do they?
charge right from the get-go too.
Yeah.
He came in swinging right off the bat and making
Yeah.
moves.
I didn't know that. He said he likes the area.
Loves the area, but he
Calls
said
himself a
earlier-
masshole.
Yeah, he said. Remember, he said he was a masshole.
Yeah.
His family loves it here.
That's all we need to hear is that they like us, and then
Yeah.
we'd love them back. You know what I mean?
Well, Timmy, I know you have a chip on your shoulder with this, but so many of the athletes who retired have resided here after their careers are over. So that is definitely a good test of
Bobby Orr, John
all of them,
Havlicek,
so many of
the really good ones. And maybe Poppy hasn't retired here, but he practically lives here.
oh my God, yeah. Even
All
if
the
I mean,
best ones have run around.
from a financial perspective, it really makes sense because you can go and do ribbon cuttings and promote things and sign on with car dealerships and all that kind of stuff if you stick around.
they do these corporate events, these
Yeah,
meetings for
all day long.
Speak
these
at Blue Cross or at Mass
Morgan and Stanley
Mutual.
or whatever.
Yeah.
They make
Yeah.
50 grand for a couple hours of just shaking some hands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
meet
go out
and
to
greet with
Kansas-
the
they go out
State
to
Street
Kansas-
Bank guys.
They go out to Kansas City, they no one even knows who they are.
No, right, exactly. And also they don't pay for any meals around here.
Yep.
Yeah, and he goes back to the Dominican, he gets stabbed.
Yeah. Stephen Pierce said that when he loves to come back here because he really doesn't. No one ever lets him pay for a meal or a drink. Yeah.
That doesn't happen anywhere else on earth.
No one gives a shit. All right, we're gonna go
He was the MVP. Do you remember that? He was
I
the
know, I know.
MVP.
Oh yeah,
that guy was clutch. That
was big.
Oh my God, what a
I
That
don't
was
know
a great
where.
pickup by Dombrowski that year.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was,
Great
oh my
pickup.
God. Every
He was
time
just
he hit
supposed to be a
home run.
platoon. A
Seriously.
platoon guy, and he was great.
And then Moreland, remember Moreland had
Yep.
the key home run too. Oh my God, that was a magical season.
Pierce had gray hair. I saw him walking home after the World Series game, and I know he had gray hair.
Is that right?
He lived in the condos right across Boylston Street. There, his wife and his kids with him.
Oh, he did.
And the street was
nice.
closed. The street was closed off.
Oh, those were fun times. All right, we're gonna go with the Timmy's Bruins. Milan Lucic was in town eating
What are they
eating all these
thinking?
food. Eating
They're
up-
know, I think
signing
this
all
team-
these guys I never heard of for 1-year contracts.
I mean,
Yeah,
I thought they were making some pretty good personnel decisions over there. I'm scratching my head on this one, guys. And no one loved Milan Lucic more than I loved Milan Lucic. But I don't get it.
So he's gonna spend most of the time in the 8th floor, right?
I would have to.
Oh, he's got put him on the 4th line, and he just bangs around out there.
But Joe, he doesn't bang anymore.
I know you can't catch up with anyone.
He can't, he's gonna be like that. Would like be putting like me out there on the
Yeah.
freaking ice. You know
I
what
thought
mean?
they if they want someone old and slow, Hathaway was the least could keep up out there.
They
Yeah.
signed Hathaway, didn't they? They signed Hathaway,
Oh,
right?
Flyers did.
Did they?
Flyers.
I thought the
I didn't
Bruins
think
signed.
so.
No, Flyers did.
Shit.
Because I said that was. didn't you
I
see
don't
the-
get it. I mean, you're telling me they don't have some kid down in Providence who can fly up and down the wing? I mean, this league is all about speed now. As much as I hate it, I miss the old brawling days.
That's one thing I'll say for Hall. When he wanted to unload, he could fly.
Yeah,
He
They're not
could
gonna-
move
Lucic's
down.
not
He
gonna
could
play more
move
than-
down that wing.
He's gonna
that's a hard.
He's gonna be greeting people at the door and shaking hands and stuff. He's
Yeah.
lucky he was gonna play 20.
Yeah, you're right. He probably is going to be the next Johnny Pesky for the Bruins.
Yeah, right. He's just that's all he is.
I mean, the season's ticket holders would love to see him in the Boyd and Blades Club, right?
That's what they're gonna do. Yeah, exactly. And then they give him a job, at when the season's over, whatever.
Good.
Um,
Okay.
I don't see, and I don't think these
I
even.
thought they signed him though.
No,
They did.
but they gave him the veteran minimum.
Yeah.
And some of these veteran minimums, Joe, don't go against the cap.
Oh, okay.
Right. So some of these things that so they pay him $1 million to come
You think he
around.
gets? You think he gets in 5 fights this year?
I think he gets into 5 fights the first game he plays.
You think he can still throw?
I know
Yeah,
he.
that's all he's got left, probably.
Yeah, if he can catch up enough of him, he's gonna have to fight him like at the face-off.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get him in a clinch because he's not catching him.
No, he's gonna have to say, "Let's go now."
Yeah.
You know, he's going to
You
keep.
know, you don't think that they brought him in to fight, do you?
Yes, I think they did. I think they
Well,
brought.
no,
him-
I think they brought him in to make sure to sell the season's tickets.
Yeah. Also, yeah, no,
No,
again,
he's very popular. He's always been very popular.
Oh yeah, I mean he was a Bruin. He bled black and gold, man,
Yeah.
for a number
there's
of
a
years.
He
value
was
to
the
that.
second coming of Cam Neely to the.
Oh
Bruins
yeah.
fans.
He
There's
was
a
great.
value to that. In between periods, you can go up and fucking talk to the sponsors.
Terry O'Reilly. He
To
was
this
Terry
day.
O. You know, the son of Terry O'Reilly.
Yeah, look at Bob Montgomery.
Yeah.
He used to walk during the. He used to be trying to make sales during the game in uniform.
That's why he was
They made
Miss
him-
Jean's favorite.
They made him.
I saw him
self-walk
numerous
between
times
innings.
walking through the crowd, in the bowels of the stadium during the game in full uniform.
Did you ever see him sell with a rack of popcorn in front of him, Scotty?
Schmoozing. Remember, Montgomery sold season ticket membership plans during the offseason when he was a player.
Really?
That was his job.
Monty.
That's why he ended up in the booth with Miss Jean.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. There's value to a Lucic, and look, we're talking about him right now.
Hey, let's see if he fights. I mean, he's not so old that he can't still throw them. You know what I mean? He's got old man strength. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, boys, that's our show for tonight. That was fun. Want to thank, of course, the fellas. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune again next Thursday night at 7:00 for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.